Matinding bakbakan on national television ang sumalubong sa atin ngayon. Viral na sa lahat ng social media platforms ang nakakagulat at mainit na panayam ng batikan at matapang na mamamahayag na si Pinky Webb kay Congressman Luistro. Hindi nakapagpigil ang mga netizens na mag-react matapos umanong mibyutata at mapangangga ang kongresista sa sunod-sunod at napakatalas na mga katanungan ni Pinky Webb patungkol sa patuloy na pag-iimbestiga ng Kamara. Habang pilit na pinaninindigan ni Kong Luistro ang kanilang hakbang, hindi siya tinantana ng mamamahayag sa pagtatanong kung ano ba talaga ang tunay nilang motibo. Sa gitna ng mainit na gisa, napaamin di umano ang mambabatas na ang tanging makakapagpatigil lamang sa kanilang paspusang pag-iimbestiga ay kung magbababa na ng Temporary Restraining Order o TRO ang Korte Suprema. Ibig sabihin, hanggat walang direktang utos mula sa Supreme Court, tuloy ang ligaya sa panggigipit umano nila. Dahil sa pahayag na ito, lalong nag-apoy ang galit ng mga taga-suporta ng kalaban. Para sa marami, ang naging sagot ni Luistro ay isang malinaw na patunay na hindi na paghahanap ng katotohanan ang layunin nila, kundi direktang pamumulitika lamang upang sirain ang imahe ng sino man ang hindi nila paborito. Talaga namang walang inuurungan si Pinky Webb pagdating sa paglabas ng totoo. Sang-ayon ba kayo na dapat nang pumasok ang Korte Suprema para matapos ang circus na ito sa Kongreso? Ay lahad ang inyong matapang na reaksyon sa ibaba.
Isang hospital sa Quezon City at yan ay lahat ay kasinungalingan sapagkat magkasama kami ni Presidente Bongbong Marcos noong April 9 na kung saan sinasabi nila na nakakonfine daw ito ng malubha sa isang hospital. At nung magkasama kami ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos sa 84th anniversary ng Araw ng Kagitingan, kung saan ay siya ay umakyat ng halos 3 palapag na taas ng hagdanan para makarating doon sa shrine ng Mount Samat. At doon ay nakita natin on live coverage ng TV na siya ay umakyat at hindi siya hiningal, hindi siya nagpahinga, hindi siya tumigil. At makikita natin na ito ay hindi kanya ininda at tuloy-tuloy lamang ang pag-akyat. At pagdating doon...
Hindi porket nakakakyat siya ng hagdan, okay na siya. Hindi yon yung panukatan. Ang panukatan dyan kung okay ba talaga o hindi siya okay, ilabas ang kanyang medical bulletin. Ito naman si Larry Gadon. Tapos sabi mo, gusto mo gamitin namin ang utak namin. Pagka ginagamit naman namin, ayaw nyo naman ilabas nyo yung medical bulletin ni Marcos Jr. Diba? Para walang maraming cheche-bureche.
Sa taas ay sila pa ay nag-alay ng bulaklak kasama ang bulaklak doon sa ating mga napayapang mga bayani. Kasama niya ang ambassador ng Japan at ng US at ang iba pang mga opisyal ng ating hukbong sandatahan. At pagkatapos niyan ay bumaba siya doon sa event na kung saan ay nag-deliver ng speeches ang mga ambassadors at ang Pangulo natin. At doon ay makikita natin na talagang siya ay walang karamdaman at napakalakas ng kanyang katawan. At doon ay nag-usap pa kami sandali at doon ay ako ay kanyang pinagbilinan na huwag masyadong magagalit sapagkat ako ay may karamdaman sa puso. Kaya ako pa ang kanyang inalala.
Mag-resign ka na. May karamdaman ka pala sa puso, bitawan mo na yung poverty alleviation na yan. Sayang lang pasweldo sa'yo. Ang dami mong trabaho ngayong mga panahon na to. Ang dami nagugutom, ang dami naghihirap. Pinag-aaksayan mo ng panahon, mga DDS. Ano kayo whole of government approach? PCO, secretary, undersecretary, tuloy-tuloy ang pagbira sa mga DDS, no? Buti pa yun. Yung talaga atake nila, whole of government approach.
No? At kaya itong ating mga vloggers na ito ay umaabuso na. Nananawagan ako sa mga police agencies, sa mga investigative agencies and police authorities na umpisahan na ang pag-iimbestiga dito at kanilang kasuhan itong mga taong ito sapagkat ito ay pagmamalabis na. Ito ay maaring makasira sa kumpiyansa ng mga investor sa ating bansa at
makakasira sa investor sa ating bansa yung pagtatanong kung okay ba kalusugan ni Marcos Jr., kung magtatagal pa ba buhay niya, makakasira yon. Anak na to ko, kaya nga sa saligang batas, naglagay siya ng Vice President. Kung sakaling mamatay si Marcos Jr., may papalit si BP Sara. Hindi nakaka-apekto yun, nakaka-apekto alam mo. Yung naka 1 trilyong pisong nakawan sa kaban ng sambayanan, yun ang nakaka-apekto. Di ba? Nakakaapekto sa investor confidence. Yung paggamit di umano ng ipinagbabawal na droga ng amo mong bangag.
Tira din sa pag-unawa ng ating mga kababayan tungkol sa mga ginagawa ng administrasyon. Kaya panahon na upang ito ay kanilang itigil. At sila ay aking nananawagan ako sa ating mga police authorities at investigative bodies na kanilang kasuhan itong mga taong ito upang sila ay matigil. Ang iba pa dyan ay talagang hindi ginagawa.
Kasuhan nyo na. Para magmukha na naman kayo tanga. Ito, dito tayo kay Jinky Luistro.
Gamit ang utak.
Okay?
Vice President Sara Duterte has once again turned to the Supreme Court to stop the impeachment proceedings against her. This comes just days ahead of the next hearing of the House Justice Committee. Who are expected to attend and how do lawmakers respond to Duterte's allegations? Let's get on point with House Justice Committee Chairperson, Congresswoman Jervil Luistro. Congresswoman Jinky, good to see you again. Welcome to the show. Maraming salamat po sa inyong oras.
Thank you, Pinky. Good evening and thank you for having me here in On Point.
Maraming salamat, ma'am. So, the Supreme Court po kasi has responded dito po sa consolidated petitions, basically seeking a TRO on the House hearings. They handed down that decision, I believe, last April 8. That must have been Wednesday. And you are given 10 non-extendable days to submit your comment. Well, number one, will you comply, Congresswoman?
That is correct, Pinky. We are required to file our comment to the consolidated petitions, basically questioning the constitutionality of the proceeding. As to your question, as to whether we will comply, of course we will comply. We will file our comment, and I understand that we have coordinated with the Office of the Solicitor General
Opo.
to represent us, which is the proper office representing the government offices.
I see. So katulad lang po nung impeachment last time, kasi si OSG din po ang kumatawan, di ho ba, sa House regarding what the Supreme Court had handed down as unconstitutional, the impeachment complaint against the VP, the first one.
That is correct, Pinky. And as a matter of fact, hindi lang House. Lahat ng government offices who are being impleaded as party in issues of constitutionality, it is the OSG, the Office of the Solicitor General, which should rightfully represent them. And that includes us, the House of Representatives.
Kasi ang nakita ko po dun sa SC decision was House Speaker Bogie D, Congresswoman Luistro, and also the Senate President. I'm not sure if I made a mistake, but I don't think so. My question is, if you could help me understand, bakit ho kasama ang Senado?
Well, I think it's because they intend the decision, if ever it will come later, to be binding even to the Senate, no? That is only in as far as I am concerned, but I don't know the intention of the petitioners in pleading the Senate President in the two petitions questioning the constitutionality of the proceeding of the Justice Committee.
That's why I was a little bit confused, because it's still at the House Justice Committee level, and yet even the Senate President is being asked to comment on this, and it hasn't even actually reached the Senate. Will it not? That's the subject of your hearings right now. So, all right, so it's going to be the OSG that will answer on behalf of the House.
Yes, Pinky, it will be the OSG.
Ma'am, have you coordinated with Solicitor General Berberabe?
I personally haven't, but I understand that the institution, the HREP itself, has communication already with the Office of the Solicitor General.
Okay. So hihintayin na lang po natin ang sagot ng SolGen dito po sa comments na hinihingi ng Supreme Court regarding the consolidated petitions to stop the impeachment, rather the hearing at the House Justice Committee. One more question about that. Were you surprised about this decision by the Supreme Court? Because apparently the defense, through the vice president through her defense, issued a certiorari and a prayer for TRO March 30, and nasama po ito sa en banc hearing ng Supreme Court, which happens every Tuesday. We're surprised that there was an immediate response to this.
Well, we are not surprised, Pinky, kasi may petitions eh. Of course, we have to anticipate that sooner or later, the Supreme Court will be acting on these petitions of the petitioners, no? And I understand that it even includes a prayer for temporary restraining order, and that is yet to be known kung ano magiging action pa rin ng Supreme Court as to this prayer of the petitioners.
So dahil wala pong comments lang po ang hinihingi para pong malinaw at wala pong issuance ng TRO, magpapatuloy po yung hearing sa April 14, Tuesday.
Tama po yun. For as long as wala pong temporary restraining order na inilalabas ang Korte Suprema, tuloy-tuloy lamang po ang hearing ng Justice Committee. And so far, we have announced already the dates, which include April 14, 22, and 29 to be the first hearing dates for the hearing proper, clarificatory hearing of this
Sabihin mo, mini trial. Ano ba naman yan? Parang huminang klase ata itong si Jinky Luistro. Mini trial para maintindihan namin. Hindi namin maintindihan eh. Kasi hindi malinaw sa bayan ng Pilipino, ba't nyo ginagawa yan sa House of Representatives, yan sa Injustice Committee?
impeachment complaints against the Vice President.
Can a TRO be issued at any point while the hearings are ongoing, ma'am?
Well, theoretically speaking, yes. No, if the Supreme Court finds basis for the issuance of the TRO, they can anytime stop the proceeding pursuant to the strength of the temporary restraining order that they will issue. No, but it actually depends on how the Supreme Court will appreciate whether there is urgency and whether there is really basis to stop the proceeding of the Justice Committee.
Couple of follow-up questions on that. If they issue a TRO, will the House comply? Or will the House first meet and decide whether they will comply or not?
Well, in my perspective as the Justice Chair, I believe that we are bound to comply, not only as an officer of the court, I being a lawyer, but also we believe and we submit that it is the Honorable Supreme Court, which is the final arbiter of all controversies pertaining to rules and laws which are being applied.
Because some could say, how about one can invoke the separation of powers here?
That is why I qualified my statement, Pinky, that in as far as I am concerned as the Justice Chair, but of course, the rest of the members of the Justice Committee will be entitled to their own position should a TRO be issued by the Honorable Supreme Court.
Let's talk about the petition filed by the camp of the Vice President and her team. Did you expect that they would question the House proceedings before the Supreme Court?
We anticipated that, Pinky. We know that as we continue the proceeding of the Justice Committee, they will continue as well to question some or all of the parts of the proceeding, not only of the Justice Committee, but even of the House of Representatives as a whole. No? In the first impeachment complaint back in the 19th Congress, they focus on technicalities, no? And it appears now that they're still banking on the technical rules instead of giving importance to the substantive right of the sovereign Filipino people to avail of this accountability mechanism. No? I think it's quite lamenting kasi ang tagal na nito. All the issues started in 2024. Itong allegations ng confidential fund, the threat, and even the unexplained wealth, no? For a couple of times already, I believe that
unexplained wealth. Ano nga unexplained? Yung wealth nyo, explain nyo nga din. Walang yakang bakulo ka, explain nyo din. Yung salin nyo, ilabas nyo muna. Bago natin unahin itong si BP Sara, kasi ganun ho yun eh. Kung sino nagpaparatang, mauna kayo. Mauna kayo, talagang malilinis kayo. Unexplained wealth, labas mo sa LN mo pag-usapan natin, Jinky Luistro. Diba? Diniklara mo ba sa salin mo yung mga mamahaling relo mo? Yung mga mamahaling terno mo, diniklara mo ba sa salin mo? Yun nga ka.
Filipino people are expecting for answers from the Vice President. And up to this point that we are about to start the hearing of the impeachment complaint in the Justice Committee, in the second impeachment complaint, no? Because this is the 20th Congress already. The camp of the Vice President still banks on the technical rules with the intention of trying to stop or stopping the proceeding because of issues of unconstitutionality. But of course, for us in the Justice Committee, Pinky, let me express that we are maintaining our position, that we follow the rules, the Constitution, and the decisions of the Supreme Court, and therefore we are hopeful that the Supreme Court will be sustaining the constitutionality of our proceeding.
Tingnan lang po natin yung ilan sa mga ipinunto ng Vice President and her team regarding their petition before the Supreme Court. Yung tinatawag po na mini trial. I know this has been discussed over and over again, and
Yeah.
I know too,
Kasalanan mo, Jinky, yan eh. Sumobra kasi daldal niya eh.
Congresswoman, that you were saying that ito ay tila isang paghahambing para maintindihan ng tao kung ano nangyayaring hearing. Pero it appears that it's been a focus. And in
Yeah.
fact, it was part of their petition because the petition specifically mentioned you describing the proceedings as a mini trial in page 23 of the petition by arrogating, and I'm quoting this, unto itself functions that are reserved for trial, that under the Constitution, only the Senate, acting as an impeachment court, can do. The respondent committee acted in excess of its jurisdiction and with grave abuse of discretion. What do you think about that, and how do you react to that?
First and foremost, the presentation of evidence or the hearing of the impeachment complaints is yet to start on April 14. Okay? So I think it is premature to say that we already encroach upon the power of the Senate to hold trial, no? I have explained likewise in the prior interviews that the use of mini trial is only to explain to the public the difference that the proceeding in the Justice Committee is the small proceeding compared to the proceeding in the Senate, which is the bigger proceeding, and that is the trial, no? So I wish to add to that, Pinky, no? Bagaman I have said already, wala pa namang nangyayari sa Justice Committee. It must be cleared that as to whether or not the Justice Committee is encroaching upon the power of the Senate, it must be based, it must be judged, not on the label, not on the name, not on the nomenclature, but on the actions yet to be taken by the Justice Committee starting on April 14. So my point is, let us not judge right away what the Justice Committee is doing.
Hindi, mag-judge na kasi. Kasi doon pa lang sa Quadcom, doon pa lang sa Justice Committee nung 19th Congress, nung hawak pa ni Joel Chua yung committee na yan, yaang mga kasama nyo, kayo dyan sa Justice Committee ngayon, kayo din ang gumugusto na ma-impeach si BP Sara. Kayo din ang nagpahiya sa kanya. Kayo din ang nag-contempt kay Atty. Attorney Zulaika Lopez. Oh, Attorney Laika, di ba? Kayo din yun eh. O ngayon sinasabi niyo hindi namin dapat piniprejudge kung ano magiging desisyon ng committee. Si Raulo ka ba?
Because we have not started yet the hearing of the impeachment complaints. And like what I have said, it was used only to explain the difference between the small proceeding in the Justice Committee and the big proceeding in the Senate. And it was not meant to intend that the Justice Committee will be encroaching upon the power that belongs exclusively to the upper House. That is the Senate.
As
O edi magbotohan na kayo. Di ba? Kung ano lang yung mga naka-attach doon sa impeachment complaint na inihain laban kay BP Sara, yun ang pagbasihan natin. Huwag kayo magpapasumpina ng kung ano-ano. Di ba? O sumpina kayo ng sumpina ng mga sal-en. Di ba? Yung sal-en nyo naman, di pa natin nakita. Patawag kayo ng patawag ng mga witness. Ano yung tatanong nyo? Pirma mo ba to? O pagtapos pauwian nyo na si Madriaga.
mentioned a while ago, Congresswoman, I did mention that to you also, that I've heard it also in previous interviews on how you were describing that. But the issue is the defense team is actually, it is now part of their petition before the Supreme Court. In fact, in the issue on fishing expedition is also coming up and has come up in the past when the defense team, together with Attorney Michael Poa and Attorney Sheila, faced the media the first day of the hearing, which I think was March 25, if I'm not mistaken, when they didn't show up during that House hearing. And from that, it says, I quote, "The totality of circumstances reveals a glaring, grave abuse of the entire impeachment process that shows a preordained effort to set the stage for what it describes as a mini-trial and embark on a fishing expedition to salvage otherwise deficient impeachment complaints." Pumasok din po sa kanilang petition yung one-year bar rule, etc. So let's talk about this how they're describing also the subpoenas, the issuance of subpoenas duces tecum, ad testificandum, as also a fishing expedition. I guess we can center on one of them, Congresswoman, yung pong paghingi ng SALN ni Vice President Sara Duterte from 2007 to 2025 with a 3-year gap. She was not in government during that time. Let's talk about that. Why was there a need? Why was it important to even ask for the SALNs when she was not vice president? Go ahead, Congressman.
There is an allegation, Pinky, of unexplained wealth and non-disclosure
Ang hirap po nun,
in
no?
the SALN, no? So,
Ang hirap po nun ng mga kababayan, aligasyon lamang. Ngayon, linitsyon nyo na, walang ebidensya, aligasyon lang nito si Terry Redon. Kumbaga na-intriga lang si Terry Redon na bakit hindi nagmamatch ito. Kay Marcos Jr. ho mga kababayan, mali-maleta ang inaakusa sa kanya. Hindi ho aligasyon nito merong ebidensya. Mismong yung nagsilid ng pera sa maleta, yun ang nagsabi na diniliberan si Marcos Jr. Pero hindi daw sufficiency in form and substance. Palakpakan ho natin ang Injustice Committee. Diba? Tapos pagkakinusyon sila, kung bakit hindi parehas yung pagkilati sa impeachment ni Marcos Jr. at nitong si VP Sara, nagagalit sila. Yun naman ho talaga nangyayari dito.
this is according to the justice members, that for them to be able to determine whether or not the allegations in the complaint as to the unexplained wealth and non-disclosure in the SALN is or has basis, there is a need to subpoena the SALN, the ITR from the BIR, and even the GIS and the audited financial statement from the SEC. In other words, while it pertains to the period of time na hindi pa impeachable ang ating respondent, if indeed there were income generated during the time, they should be appearing as well in the SALN during the relevant period. That is the period when the respondent is already an impeachable official, Pinky. No? So, in as far as the majority of the justice members are concerned, notwithstanding the fact that the SALN subpoena pertains to the period na hindi pa impeachable ang respondent, this is relevant for us to be able to determine whether there was an unexplained wealth during the relevant period and there was income which was not disclosed during the relevant period. Pag sinabi nating relevant period, Pinky, it pertains to the period of time when the respondent is already an impeachable official.
Ibig sabihin nung 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025.
That is correct.
Okay. All right. It's almost as if ang paliwanag po dito is pagbabacktrack. But looking at the old records, the older records, to be able to align possibly with the SALN when the respondent is included or could be an impeachable officer. All right, we'll be taking a very short break. We'll continue our discussion. Congresswoman Jervil Luistro. Congresswoman, also a point raised by the camp of the Vice President, due process. Ito din po yung parte ng desisyon ng Korte Suprema last year during the first impeachment complaint. So, again, let me quote what is part of the petition of the Vice Presidents on due process. The essence of due process is not merely giving the opportunity to be heard, but also the opportunity to be heard at a meaningful time and a meaningful manner. In other words, procedural due process requires more than a mere notice, but a genuine and meaningful opportunity to be heard. How do you understand that? What do you make of that? And ano ho ba yung pag sinabing kailangan po genuine and meaningful opportunity to be heard?
Well, as far as we are concerned, Pinky, no, after the determination of sufficiency in ground, we issued a notice to the respondent for her to file her answer within the period of 10 calendar days, no? Apparently, sumagot. However, based on the opinion of the justice members, the answer is not responsive to the allegations in the complaint, no? Instead of replying or answering to the accusations in the impeachment complaint, they raised issues of constitutionality, and among them is the violation of due process. And as far as we are concerned as well, Pinky, notwithstanding the fact na hindi naging responsive yung kanyang sagot doon sa impeachment complaint, we manifested that at any point in time of the impeachment proceeding, the Vice President is welcome to present her evidence to counter the impeachment.
Hindi, ganito na lang. Hindi dadalo si VP Sara sa mga kabuktutan nyo dyan sa House of Representatives. Sa April 14, magbotohan na kayo. Kasi pagka pinatawag niyo si Madriaga, sinumpinan niyo yung mga SALE niya, hindi niyo naman pwedeng pag-usapan dyan yan. Hindi niyo naman pwedeng makukwestiyon kayo sa Korte Suprema. Kung ayaw niyo magka-problema sa Korte Suprema, tanungin lang si Madriaga, ikaw pumirma ng apidabit. O, tapos ang usapan hanggang doon lang. Pero yung paghihimay sa apidabit niya, sa Senado yun. Ngayon, yung SALE ni BP Sara, hindi pa pwedeng basahin yung mga figure noon. Basta-basta kasi sa Senado na naman yun. Pwede daw sa closed door, di ba? Paano pagka nag-closed door? Wala na naman silang nakita sa ni BP Sara. Ano na naman ho kayang i-inventohin ng mga kampon na to ni Martin Romualdez? Ano na naman ba kayang mga issue ilalabas nila, mga inventong gagawin nila sa April 14? Pagkatapos ng hearing, di ba? Pag nag-press con sila, sigurado pa press con yung mga yan eh. Oh.
Complaint, including its attachments, no? So, we intend to do this in all the hearings of this impeachment complaint. That includes this coming April 14, 22, and 29. Kahit wala siyang na-file na responsive na answer, kahit hindi siya dumadalo in the first hearing, first setting, no? We intend to extend this opportunity for her to present her evidence during the entire proceeding, because our objective really is to cater ample amount of due process to her, sapagkat we are following the decision of the Supreme Court. Naalala mo, during the first impeachment complaint back in 19th Congress, ito na yung nireklamo nila, na hindi nabigyan ng pagkakataong sumagot ang Vice Presidente, hindi niya na-verify yung evidence, hindi na pag-aralan ng mga members itong impeachment complaint, including the attached documents. All of these things are happening right now, Pinky. So we really do not understand the basis for their claim that there is no meaningful or genuine due process which is being given to the Vice President. Because in as far as we are concerned, we are giving the all-out due process or the opportunity to present evidence to counter the impeachment complaint, including the supporting evidence, Pinky.
I want to talk about what's going to happen on April 14, that's this coming Tuesday, the second day of the hearing of the House Justice Committee. Marami ho kayong inisyu na subpoena, again, lucis tecum ad testificandum. Number one, I understand and I read already that ito pong sinasabing alleged bagman, si Ramil Madriaga, ay pinayagan na
That's correct.
to appear in the House hearing. Congresswoman, when he appears, this is also a question I asked one of the framers of the 1987 Constitution, together with also the Salients. Just 2 points. Pag dumating ho ba yung mga individual na ipinatawag ninyo at yung mga dokumento na in-issue, hiningi ninyo,